So just watch this. Jordan Peterson debates 20 atheists on the Jubilee channel. Let's take a listen to this little clip here I liked.
But
No. You don't get to skate over that. That's totally fine.
It's a straw man of my position. It's a straw man of the argument. So the argument is that
wait a sec. You said find one maxim that's transcendent across situations.
I didn't say any of those words. I'm not sure what conversation you're a part of.
Don't be a smartass.
I'm sorry.
Seriously, I mean it. If we're going to have a serious conversation, conduct yourself properly. Okay. Rephrase your question so that, because I must have missed it. I tried to answer it.
So in my mind, I guess by my lights.
That was triggering as fuck. Don't be a smart ass. And actually he was shaking. Jordan Peterson was like, don't be a smart ass. Not a smart aleck, but a smart ass. And he was just saying that you just, he gets mad that if you say don't put words in my mouth, whereas he just put words in that guy's mouth, and that guy goes, that isn't any of what I had said, and I'm not for sure which conversation you were actually participating in. Don't be a smart ass. So I want to actually just talk about like all my reactions to it. At the very end, he picks one of the participants because he said that that person wasn't trying to win. The whole point of a fucking debate is to try to win, right? And so you can have a good conversation where you listen to the other person. And then I just read some of this Christian Murdy, fucking smart, but he was saying that the interval is the most important piece of the conversation. Somebody says something, and whether you wait a few moments, minutes, hours, entire lifetime, that interval matters because you heard what they said, you comprehend what they said, and then you are either reacting or not reacting to what they had said. And so that is actually kind of a conversation, because if two people are just like, no, and it's like, what the hell did we even talk about just now? Did we get to any deeper meaning whatsoever? So let's take a listen to this other clip. This is my favorite one because this guy fucking just kicks his ass and wipes the floor with him. And
hey everyone, big heads up, Paleo Valley's running a sale on all their meat sticks right now.
Okay, Paleo Valley.
For $36.
Richard Dawkins is like that.
I watched that debate.
Pause there. We've been voted out by the majority.
Very good.
Thank you so much.
Really, very thoughtful.
Hey, Dr. Peterson.
How are you doing?
Danny, nice to meet you.
What's your name?
Danny.
Danny.
You say atheists worship things or people or places, whatever. Can you be very clear about your definition of worship again?
Attend to, prioritize, and sacrifice for.
Okay, that's it. That's your understanding of worship.
Well, I could flesh it out, but that'll do for the time we have.
Okay. Do Catholics attend to Mary?
Yes.
Okay. So do they fit that description of worship?
Yes.
So you would say Catholics and other people that revere Mary, like the Eastern Orthodox tradition, worship Mary.
Well, they might not put her in the highest
But
place.
you would put it that way.
No.
You just said it. Now you're taking it back.
There's still a hierarchy.
Okay, there's a hierarchy, but within
there's something at the top.
All right, you can worship things
Mary's
below.
quite a ways up the hierarchy, but not at the top.
Let's go over your definition of worship again. What's your definition of worship?
Attend to.
Attend to.
Prioritize.
Do Catholics
sacrifice for?
Do Catholics attend to? Do they prioritize Mary over all other human beings?
No, I didn't say overall, did I? I didn't add that to my definition.
You understand?
I said there was a hierarchy as well.
You attend to.
So you can attend to something trivially, or you can attend to it deeply.
Okay, now you're adding stuff to the definition, but your original definition.
I added the hierarchy part at the beginning.
Are you
just
familiar?
Didn't understand it.
Are you familiar with the Immaculate Conception?
Why is that relevant?
Because you go to a Catholic church, don't you? Or you've attended recently. You're interested in Catholicism, aren't you?
Sure.
All right. Are you familiar with their doctrines?
Somewhat.
Okay, you're
their
familiar.
Doctrines are very
how do they
deep.
regard Mary?
Why are you asking me that?
Because you're a Christian.
You say that. I haven't claimed that.
Oh, what?
Okay, so this is a fantastic part of the conversation because Jordan Peterson does not admit that he's a Christian. He's, debating 20 atheists, and he's talking about Christianity, and he's talking about how atheists accept Christian ethics but reject the stories, and it's all around Jesus and the stories and the Bible, and he just isn't a Christian. He's not a Christian. Is he a believer? And then when he defines God in a very particular way. He defines God as a conscience. And he also says that God is a unity of which moral claims can be based. So God is a conscience. God is a unity of which moral claims can be based. He's the one that's confused about what God is. I've heard people say God is a whole bunch of things. God is love. God is energy. There is a oneness when it comes to energy. Is that what you're talking about when you're talking about God? And then when I think of God, I think God is the great spirit of ultimate goodness. So if you're just to think of, the sum of all human experience and history, the entire timeline of not just humanity, but just existence in general, the universe, Earth, the planets, all of it, just, the existence of everything from the beginning until the end, specifically for humanity, God is the great spirit of ultimate goodness, because good is going to defeat evil. Good is going to defeat evil. It's got to. The moral arc of the universe may be long, but it bends towards justice. Good has to defeat evil. What the fuck? I don't even know why I'm trying to define it. Let's listen to some more.
What is this? Is this Christians versus atheists?
I don't know.
You don't know where you are right now.
Don't be a smartass.
Well,
and I mean,
either you're a Christian or you're not.
I won't talk to you if you're a smartass.
Oh, either you're a Christian or you're not. Which one is it?
I could be either of them, but I don't have to tell you.
You don't have to tell me. I was under the impression that I was invited to talk to a Christian. Am I not talking to a Christian?
No, you were invited to.
I think everyone should look at the title of the YouTube channel. You're probably in the wrong YouTube video.
You're really quite something. You are.
Aren't I? But you're really quite nothing. Right? You're not a Christian.
Okay, I'm done with him.
He still had 3 minutes left, right? I mean, the interesting back and forth was quite fascinating. I'm done with him. The guy was confident, and he was, interrogating him. He was coming right for Jordan Peterson. I think that's what Jordan Peterson doesn't like. He doesn't want to be confronted. He doesn't want to actual debate. He doesn't want any intelligent person to actually, he wants to be able to sort of smack some of these, not as confident people around. This guy had backbone. This guy was formidable. Danny, I think he should have listened to Danny a little bit more. Where was he going with it? I would love to know where he was going with it, because he's saying that the immaculate conception is that, Jesus was born from Mary, and there is no father, right? It was God had put the seed in Mary, and there is no male father, not Joseph, nothing else. Well, where is he actually going to go with that? That would have been fantastic to flesh out. And then he's also pointing out Mary and how the Catholics revere Mary, whereas a lot of Protestants do not. And there are a lot of Catholic doctrines that he probably could have, I wish he would have just listened to the guy a little bit more. Don't be a smartass. When you say don't be a smartass, what are you talking about? He just made his points. He remonstrated. He made his points very effective. When the guy says, I think you need to check out the title of the YouTube video, because we're supposed to be a Christian. And they did change the title to Jordan Peterson versus 20 Atheists. So they're not saying Christian versus 20 Atheists. And so the guy was there under false pretenses in some respects. And if Jordan Peterson is a fuck Christian, he's defending, Christ and all these Bible stories and God now. He's defending God. And he's not Christian. So, that's, and then the guy, he also says, I'm not going to tell you, talk about who's the smart ass. Okay, smart ass. Why should I tell you? I mean, that was really, a dig. That was disrespectful. Overall, I thought it was a pretty good conversation. I'll just, do I check in here a minute
no one
or
understands
two?
Me. If
No,
I
I
actually
won't,
told people how I'm
because
feeling,
this is in the background for a lot.
A
So
lie that I told my.
Hey, how's it going? Nice to meet you.
I want to go through some of the claims and some of the things that I had learned. he had presumed that Moses was good. He was like, in the context of the story, isn't Moses good? Moses is not good. Moses is not good. Very much when Moses rescues the Hebrews out of Egypt, and then there's the Exodus, that is very exciting, right? He's the great liberator. He's just like Abraham Lincoln. He's like Spartacus, who's victorious. He's like Nat Turner, but he actually got his people up out of Egypt. Now, the story takes a turn for the worst, because now you got 400,000 Hebrews, and where are the 400,000 Hebrews going to go? Well, they got to go somewhere, right? And so instead of going to an occupied place, they could have stayed in Egypt and then took Egypt over and overturned that system and then got their own, culture. But instead of that, the Hebrews are going to an occupied land, and they're going to do genocides. They're going to immediately just start killing people off left and right. So Jordan Peterson says that Moses is good, but Moses is only good up to the point of Exodus. When it comes to all of the damn genocides, holy shit, there are so many genocides, it's not even funny. You had the 7 nations of Canaan, the Hittites and the Girgashites and the Amorites and the Canaanites and the Perizzites and the Hirites and the Jubezites. This is Deuteronomy 7:1-2. Israel was going to destroy the 7 nations of Canaan, utterly destroy. And then Deuteronomy 20:16-18, they said that they're going to destroy these cities so that nothing that breathes will be left alive. So everything that's breathing will be totally killed. So Moses is a, good guy up until the point he frees the Jewish folks. But then once you have 400,000, we'll say ancient Hebrews, because they're different, right? I'm talking about the Old Testament Hebrews, 400,000 Hebrews. What are you going to do with the 400,000 Hebrews? You should have took over Egypt. You shouldn't go into Canaan and steal all the people's land who already has land. You should have found a piece of land that had nobody on it and then took that. You also had the Edomites and the Moabites and the Amalekites. He's just killing, people left and right. Now, I had asked Grok whether the Nazis or the ancient Israelites were actually more genocidal. And Grok was trying to push back on whether or not the ancient Israelites were genocidal or not. There are some significant differences. The Nazis had killed millions of people systematically over 12 years, and they did it for territory, whereas the Israelites only killed thousands or maybe tens of thousands of people, not millions, over decades. And it wasn't systemically. It was kind of hit and miss, and it was for territory and for religion. So a lot of these genocides, a lot of these destroying of villages, they also, not only did they destroy the Hittites and the Girgashites and the Amorites and the Canaanites and the Perizzites and the Hirites and the Jebusites, they also killed Jericho and Ai. I don't even know what Ai stands for. And then Hazor. So you have Jericho, Ai, and Hazor. And then you have Libnah, Lachish, Eglon, and Hebron. So in Joshua 10-12, they're just destroying town after town after town. They're going to kill the people of Hebron, Eglon, Lachish, Libnah, Jericho, Ai, Hazor. And so he's just killing town after town. They said by the end of it all, the ancient Israelites had killed 31 kings. 31 kings were defeated. And so they killed about 50,000 to 200,000. All who breathed were killed. All who breathed were killed. And maybe we should open up the Bible to some of those things. So Jordan Peterson refused to call himself a Christian. Jordan Peterson claims that Moses was good within the context of the story. I guess I don't even know if you could say that within the context. It was, the Genesis, it says that God created everything and it was good. I don't remember any part of the Moses story where they said, and it was good. The immaculate conception is bullshit. He should have, took that idea on. Genocide can't be a war. Jordan Peterson also had tried to say that genocide can be a war. He tried to claim that genocide could be a war. A war against children, they're not enemy combatants. They're not soldiers. So you are declaring war against children. Jordan Peterson could not say that a genocide is not a war. So according to Jordan Peterson, committing a genocide and war, those are one and the same things. So I did find the conversation fascinating, and I'd recommend anybody to check out Jordan Peterson debating 20 atheists. I feel like Jordan Peterson is an atheist. He's just cosplaying as some sort of, he wouldn't even admit that he was a Christian, so I don't even know what the fuck he's cosplaying as. What the fuck is Jordan Peterson cosplaying as? Jordan Peterson is cosplaying as what? Not a Christian, but a God believer, a non-Christian God believer. What's he going into the Catholic Church for if he's not going to be a Christian? His claims were fascinating. There was 4 claims that he had in the conversation. He had said that atheists reject a God that they don't understand. I feel like if I was at that conversation, I would have fucking kicked some ass and took some names. I'd have been like, Jordan Peterson, you think that there's an invisible man up in the clouds? Or is he like up in the ceiling somewhere? Do you see an invisible man right now? Because even though I am culturally Christian and a lot of my ethics come from Christianity, and I would say that I'm very spiritual, I'm atheist as fuck. There's not an invisible man up in the clouds. He's not. Do I have to go to the moon? Is he in Neptune? Is he in one of the constellations? In Leo? Is he over there in Orion's belt? Where the fuck is this so-called big-ass man? And if there's a big-ass man, right, the stereotypical, archetypical sort of man with a fucking long-ass beard, a man with a long-ass beard and white hair wearing sandals, just like, you know, stomping around up in the clouds. You're telling me there's a long-ass bearded man stomping around up in the clouds and he's just watching all of us and judging all of us? Get the fuck out of here. I do reject a God that I understand, but I also accept a God that I understand as well. My God, since I'm deeply spiritual, and a lot of my ethics, he has another claim where he says that atheists reject the stories of the Bible, but they accept Christian ethics. I would agree with that. I'm culturally Christian because I grew up Catholic, and a lot of the things just kind of hit me like, you know, basically I just accepted them as true. When I was in the Catholic Church, going through Sunday school and CCD and doing my confirmation and all that shit, justice is eye for an eye. You should treat your neighbor as yourself. Thou shalt not murder. I mean, these were just kind of common sense, you know, morals. So immediately, as soon as I heard a lot of this stuff, so a lot of stuff that I believe comes from Christianity. But my understanding of God is not an invisible man up in the clouds, you know, with sandals and a big long white beard. And if it's you guys believe there's like a big invisible man up in the clouds? And if it's a man, then that means he's got what, big old schlong and testicles and shit. So you just, if you look up, do you like see his taint? Are you looking up at his butt? I don't believe in that God, that invisible man up in the fucking clouds. I do believe in the great spirit of ultimate goodness. In the history of humanity, goodness defeats evil. Good defeats evil. The moral arc of the moral universe is long, but it bends towards justice. Goodness defeats evil. And so, in a way, I believe I have a Holy Spirit. I'm very spiritual, and I believe in the great spirit of ultimate good. I believe in the great spirit of ultimate goodness because goodness is going to defeat evil. I mean, it has to. And if it doesn't, like, what the fuck is the point? Evil won. Darth Vader fucking wins. Scar wins, you know, like, that's a terrible goddamn story. The story of humanity is the bad people won. Well, there's also morality and purpose cannot be found in science. That was his second claim, which I'll think about that later on because it's like, maybe, I don't know, you know, in science, you can find it in logic. The reason why you treat your neighbor as yourself is because, you know, it just makes sense. Like, that's like such an incredible ideal. Of course, you should treat your neighbor as yourself. You should treat everybody as yourself. There's too many people. You can't just treat everybody, you know, if you're like, hey, everybody should just adulate and just worship and admire. You can't go around and admiring everybody else. So, that's not perfect. But in some respects, it's like, that's a good principle. Treat your neighbor as yourself. So I had a package was delivered and it was put on the front, here in the front, and it wasn't to this house. And so I took the package and I delivered it to the neighbor's house because that's where they were trying to deliver it to. Why? Because if my package was delivered to my neighbor's house, I'd like for them to, not take it, not to throw it away, not to sell it, not to steal it, not to put it back on the truck and send it to Timbuktu, but to bring the package over here. I'd want them to do the exact same thing. So you should absolutely treat your neighbor as yourself. He talks about how everybody worships something, and then he just says that everybody prioritizes something, and then how there's a hierarchy of preferences. Jordan Peterson was revolutionary for a long time, and I've gained a lot of stuff. I learned a lot of stuff from Jordan Peterson, and it just sucks that he's really going downhill in terms of being irrelevant. It's just like, it's kind of sad in a way. So let's see here. Job maintains being upright. It's interesting. His perspectives was interesting, but I definitely like the atheist. The atheist won. Jordan Peterson versus 20 atheists. The atheist won. I want to talk a little bit about what Jordan Peterson actually believes, what he says was God. He says God is conscience. And he says that comes from Elijah, that comes from Jonah. And he says Jonah, Elijah is like an important prophet. He's up there with Moses. Elijah is on the level of Moses. Oh, okay. And then God is conscience. Okay, maybe. I don't know. God is love. God is energy. God is a conscience. God is just, doing this little wavy thing with your arms. What the fuck? Okay, if that's what your definition is. But if you're telling me that Catholics and Christians believe that God is a conscience, no, Catholics and Christians believe in that invisible man up in the fucking clouds. So if he's defining God as a conscience, does he even believe in an invisible man up in the clouds? Somebody was saying that there's an omnipotent, omnipresent being, that's given, God a lot of more, that's given him more credit. If he's just up in the clouds, omnipotent, omnipresent, and he's just up in the clouds looking down on all of us, peons. He's saying that the reason why we need to believe in God is because we humans need to connect ourselves to the infinite. We need to connect ourselves to the infinite. So I kind of like a lot of his, sort of secular reasonings for what he's saying about God. It makes me think if he's just he's an apologist. He's got some Jordan Peterson has a crush on somebody in this world who's a Christian, and he wants to be like, no, honey, no, sweetheart, you're right. There is an invisible man up in the clouds. And so he's just being an apologist. Yeah. So the great spirit of ultimate goodness, that's mine. You could take it. You could keep it, because the great spirit of ultimate goodness is, if there is a God, if there is a man that was up there judging all of us, then he would be a utilitarian. So maybe it's just as a conceptual thing, it's just, nice to think of this sort of great spirit of ultimate goodness being this, man on a throne up in the clouds. Man, I'm parched. But if God is going to mean anything, then goodness has to defeat evil. He also talks about how God is a unifying concept, or that he believes in the theory, he believes in the oneness of the world, and how science is trying to find a theory for everything, or whether there is multiple competing truths. So that's an interesting scientific debate. Is there a theory of everything? Is there a theory of everything? Or are there multiple competing truths? I don't know. I don't fucking know. I do know that F equals mass times acceleration, or force equals mass Well, shit, I don't even know that. Force equals mass times acceleration. I know that. 4 people. Why are there 4 people watching this? Okay, let me see here. Did I cover everything? I'm pretty much to the end. Moses should have took Egypt. He should have found unoccupied land. Instead of killing all the Canaanites and the Philistines, which were the Palestinians, the fucking Israelites have been killing the Palestinians since the fucking beginning. Israel wants to utterly destroy the 7 nations of Canaan. Maybe I'll look at the Bible. Let's read some Bible. Who wants to get the Bible out? Who wants to do a Bible study with me? Where is my Bible? I want to read these places where they're talking about Canaanites and all this other shit. Here we go. Here's a Bible. You all ready? Because he says that he's going to utterly... Well, where did everybody go? Now we're going to read some Bible here, okay? And so, Deuteronomy 7, 1 through 12. Deuteronomy 7, 1 through 12. When the Lord your God brings you into the land which you are entering to take possession of it and clears away many nations before you, the Hittites, the Girgashites, the Amorites, the Canaanites, the Perizzites, the Hivites, and the Jebusites, 7 nations greater and mightier than yourself. They're greater and they're mightier than yourselves. You need to destroy them. And when the Lord your God gives them over to you and you defeat them, then you must utterly destroy them. You shall make no covenant with them and show no mercy to them. You shall not make marriages with them, giving your daughters to their sons, or taking their daughters for your sons, for they would turn away your sons from following me to serve other gods. Then the anger of the Lord would be kindled against you, and he would destroy you quickly. But thus shall you deal with them. You shall break down their altars and dash in pieces their pillars and hew down their Asherim and burn their graven images with fire. For you are a people holy to the Lord your God. The Lord your God has chosen you to be a people for his own possession out of all the peoples that are on the face of the earth. It was not because you were more in number than any other people that the Lord set his love upon you and chose you, for you were the fewest of all peoples, but it is because the Lord loves you and is keeping the oath which he swore to your fathers, that the Lord has brought you out with a mighty hand and redeemed you from the house of bondage, from the hand of Pharaoh king of Egypt. Know therefore that the Lord your God is God, the faithful God, who keeps covenant and steadfast love with those who love him and keep his commandments to 1,000 generations, and requites to their face those who hate him by destroying them. He will not be slack with him who hates him. He will requite them to his face. You shall therefore be careful to do the commandment and the statutes and the ordinances which I command you this day. So Israel is going to destroy the 7 nations of Canaanite. That was just Deuteronomy 7, 1 through 2. Let's check out Deuteronomy 20, 16 to 18. So Deuteronomy 20, 16 to 18. But in the cities of these people that the Lord your God gives you for an inheritance, you shall save alive nothing that breathes. If that isn't fucking genocidal. Wait, is that lizard breathing? Kill it. Is that ant breathing? Kill it. You shall save alive nothing that breathes, but you shall utterly destroy them, the Hittites and the Amorites, the Canaanites and the Perizzites and the Hivites and the Jebusites, as the Lord your God has commanded, that they may not teach you to do according to all their abominable practices, which they have done in the service of their gods, and so to sin against the Lord your God. Not only, one of the biggest things with Moses, he had married Zipporah. So he runs out of Egypt. He finds this woman named Zipporah, marries her, right? Who is Zipporah? Well, Zipporah is a Midianite. And then when he frees the Hebrews from Egypt, he kills all the fucking Midianites. Immediately just starts doing genocides. Genocides against the Midianites, the Amalekites, the Canaanites, the Hittites, the Hittites, the Girgashites, the Amorites, all these motherfucking tribes. He destroys Jericho. He destroys Ai, which I don't even know how to pronounce Ai. Hazer, he destroys Hazer and Libnal and Lachish, basically like 200,000. And that's another thing. 200,000 were killed in the Old Testament, but they've killed 500,000 in Palestine today. So actually the Israelites of today, even though they were bloodthirsty, genocidal, fucking slaughtering pieces of shit, to begin with, they've actually killed more today than what the Old Testament said that they killed. Jericho was 10 acres and Hazer was 200 acres. And they specifically said that they killed 12,000 in the city of Ai. This is in Joshua 6:21 and Joshua 10 through 12. Nothing that breathes should be alive. That reminds me of Kissinger. Destroy anything that flies or moves. When it came to Vietnam, just kill anything that flies or moves. It's actually worse than Kissinger's Vietnam policy. Killing anything that flies or moves. Anything that breathes, even if it's just standing still. Kill every fucking living fucking thing. So the Old Testament is evil. This is evil. When I think about Isaac and Abraham. So God is like, hey, if you believe in me, then kill your own kids. And then Abraham's like, oh, okay, you just want me to kill my son? Here you go, here's my son. And then God's like, wait a second, psych. I was testing you. It seems you're going to do it. You're going to do it. So now I know you love me. So that's real. That's not fucking God. That's a devil. That's a fucking devil. That's a demon. That is a demon that would ask somebody to do something like that. If you believe in me, then just murder your kids. That's a hell of a proposition. Where else am I going to go with this? Do you all want to hear some Joshua? Let's read some Joshua. Because, man, I'm getting fucking hotter and hotter as I go on here. Joshua, are you ready? Y'all want to read 10 through 12? You tell me what y'all want to hear. Joshua 6:21. Let's see what 6:21 is all about. The book of Joshua 6:21. Then they utterly destroyed all in the city, both men and women, young and old, oxen, sheep, and asses, with the edge of the sword. They didn't just kill the men and the women and the children. They're also killing the fucking sheep. Why would you kill the goddamn livestock? And the asses and the donkeys and the ox and the old and the young with the edge of the sword. And then where are we at with this? What city are we even in? Jericho. Jericho was shut up from within and from without because of the people of Israel. None went out, none came in. The Lord said to Joshua, see, I have given into your hand Jericho with its king and mighty men of valor. You shall march around the city, all the men of war going around the city once. Thus shall you do for 6 days, and 7 priests shall bear 7 trumpets of ram's horns before the ark, and on the 7th day you shall march around the city 7 times. The priest blowing the trumpets, and when they make a long blast with the ram's horn, as soon as you hear the sound of the trumpet, then all the people shall shout with a great shout. And the wall of the city will fall down flat, and the people shall go up, every man straight before him. All right, so I think it's Jericho. So, okay, Joshua fucking 6:12 or 21, Jericho fucking gets it. Jericho is destroyed. Let's check out Joshua 8:24 to 26. Joshua 8:24 to 26. When Israel had finished slaughtering all of the inhabitants of Ai, were they attacking artificial intelligence from way back then? It's just capital AI. How do you pronounce capital AI? I'm just going to say AI because fuck you. That's why. In the open wilderness where they pursued them, and all of them to the very last had fallen by the edge of the sword. And all of Israel returned to Ai and smote it with the edge of the sword. And all who fell that day, both men and women, were 12,000. All of the people of Ai. All of them. They killed all the people of Jericho. They killed all the people of Ai. 12,000 of them. They specifically, like, where'd they get that number from? But there it is. 12,000. in black and white. For Joshua did not draw back his hand with which he stretched out the javelin until he had utterly destroyed all of the inhabitants of Ai. Only the cattle and the spoil of that city Israel took as their booty, according to the word of the Lord, which he commanded Joshua. So they didn't kill the cattle. At least they spared the livestock when it came to Ai. They killed the fucking livestock of Jericho. What a senseless slaughter. Go into Jericho, kill all the people, but you killed the livestock. It's like, do you not eat meat? And then, they're a bunch of vegetarians? No, they're fucking goddamn sacrificing a bunch of sheep on the fucking altar. Here, God, here's a brand new sheep. So they're like worse than meat eaters. They just kill fucking animals and then burn it for the fuck of it. What a bunch of sick fucks. Let's see. Joshua burned Ai. He burned it. So, okay, killed everybody, saved the cattle, burned Ai, and he made it forever a heap of ruins, as it is to this day. So he killed Ai forever and ever and ever. So that's a fucking genocide. That's like Mariupol, right? Is Mariupol still... Do they have anybody in Mariupol anymore? So that's Ai. What else? There's Hazer. What else? Joshua 10 through 20. Got two specific. Joshua 10:40. Anybody want to read Joshua 10:40 with me? Joshua 10:40. What does Joshua 10:40 say? So Joshua defeated the whole land, the hill country, and the Negeb, and the lowland and the slopes and all their kings. He left none remaining. Utterly destroyed all that breathe. Utterly destroyed all that breathe. Even Nagasaki and Hiroshima, there was like some survivors. Some were still breathing after Nagasaki and Hiroshima. But this is Hazer. Is this where we're at now? 10:40. Joshua defeated them from Kadesh Barnea to Gaza. Look, Gaza's right there in Joshua. Joshua 10:41. And all the country of Goshen, so far as Gibeon. And Joshua took all these kings in their land at one time, because the Lord God of Israel fought for Israel. Then Joshua returned, and all of Israel with him, to the camp of Gilgal. To the camp of Gilgal. Joshua took Makkedah on that day, smote it and its king with the edge of the sword. The king of Makkedah. What did the king of Makkedah ever do to the Israelites? Joshua passed on from Makkedah and all of Israel with him to Libnah. He fought against Libnah. The Lord gave it also and its king into the hand of Israel. Oh, God just giving kings over to goddamn Joshua. Yeah, fuck you. I think that any evil motherfucker just will get the, blessing of their God. Well, and then the devil said it was okay because the devil let me do it. Okay, Israel. Well, fuck. And then Israel doesn't even mean submission to God. Israel means to wrestle with God. Well, you're not God if you're wrestling with God. Maybe one God wrestling with another or some shit. But submission means you kind of recognize that there is a great spirit of ultimate goodness. There is a Holy Spirit. There is, like an ideal that's bigger than yourself. But wrestle with God. You know what definitely wrestles with God? The fucking devil. The devil would wrestle with God. So Israel means to wrestle with God. So where's another passage, right? So they killed all the fucking people of Makkedah. They killed all the people of Jericho. They killed all the people of Ai and Hazor. They killed all the Hittites and the Girgashites. Moses fucking married Zipporah, killed her whole entire people. So yeah, thanks a lot, Moses. We gave you a Zipporah to marry, and then you had a son by Zipporah, and then you come back and you killed us all. Fucking awesome. God damn. So that's, if anything, the Moses story should tell you that anybody that's connected to Moses, you should not let them marry anybody in your family, because all them motherfuckers are going to come over here and kill all you sons of bitches. Moses genocided the Midianites. The Midianites were friendly to Moses. The Midianites, his wife was a Midianite. Aren't you supposed to go into her family? Isn't that what the man loses a daughter, gains a son or something? You go into her family. You were like, okay, well, she's mine, and now all of you are vanquished. I mean, that's a hell of a proposition. Why would you allow anybody of your, people, friends, family, neighborhood, marry somebody if they're going to wipe all you out? That's stupid. That is dumb. Let's see, where are we going now? Joshua 11:11. Who wants to read Joshua 11:11 with me? Joshua 11:11. And they put to the sword all who were in it, utterly destroying them. There was none left that breathed, and he burned Hazor with fire. There we go. We killed everybody that breathed again. Nobody was breathing. So the children, you made sure you took a sword and just fucking stabbed the child right in his head. Yep, that child doesn't breathe anymore. Who told you to do that, God? You sure that wasn't the devil? You know what? It could have been the devil. It was. The devil told you to stab that child. A child is innocent. If we're made in the image of God, you just killed a god. You killed a bunch of little gods all over the place. Innocent gods. They didn't even have a chance to sin. They didn't have a chance to rob somebody or kick somebody or fucking do some injured. They never injured anybody. So Joshua 11:11. Shall I read more in the beginning? Yeah, I'll read all of 11, and then we'll call it a night, okay? Fucking shit. Joshua chapter 11. So this is according to God, right? When Jabin, king of Hazor, heard this, he sent to Jobab, king of Madon, and to the king of Shimron, and to the king of Ashaph, and to the kings who were in the northern hill country, and in the Arabah south of Chinneroth, and in the lowland, and in Naphothoth Dor on the west, to the Canaanites in the east and the west. You can't speak about the Canaanites around Moses and the Hebrews. As soon as you mention free Canaan, free Palestine, free Gaza, free the Canaanites, free the Hittites, they will shit a brick. I can't believe Gaza is actually in there. Is Gaza in yours? Has everybody got a Bible out? Joshua chapter 10 verse 41. It says Joshua defeated them from Kadesh Barnea to Gaza. All right, I'm still reading here. And the Canaanites in the east and the west and the Amorites, the Hittites, the Perizzites. Oh shit. These are all the people they're going to fucking genocide. The Jebusites in the hill country and the Hivites under Herman in the land of Mizpah. Watch out, Herman. This is not going to go well for Herman in the land of Mizpah. And they came out with all their troops, a great host, and the number like the sand that is upon the seashore, with many horses and chariots. And all these kings joined their forces and came and encamped together at the waters of Merom to fight with Israel. Oh, they were the victims. They weren't the aggressors. And the Lord said to Joshua, do not be afraid of them. Oh, that's nice. God has just got a direct fucking conversation. Joshua's like, hey, yo, Lord, I'm kind of scared of these motherfuckers. Don't be afraid, God says. For tomorrow at this time I will give over all of them slain to Israel. I mean, that's nice. So none of the men are like out there fighting and battling. It was just God that fucking did it. God, just the angel of the Lord, just kind of hit them like a fly and then just passed them out to Joshua. You're really taking out all of man and man's actions by, saying that God did all of this. Nobody made any choices here. There's no individual choices, no leaders or commanders or lieutenants. Just God did it. God came in, killed everybody. This is not the great spirit of ultimate goodness. This is the devil. This is evil. Old Testament is full of evil shit. So Joshua came suddenly. Where are we at? They came out with all their troops. Do not be afraid, for tomorrow I will give them over to you. You shall hamstring their horses and burn their chariots with fire. So Joshua came suddenly upon them with all his people of war by the waters of Merom and fell upon them. And the Lord gave them into the hand of Israel, who smote them and chased them as far as Great Sidon and Misrephoth Maim. And what is up with these stupid names? Eastward as far as the valley of Mizpeh. And they smote them until they left none remaining. Smote them. I conquered them. I beat them. I destroyed them. You smoted them. Oh, I smoted them good. That don't even sound that bad, really. You smoted them? Yep, I smoted the fuck out of them. Oh, shut up. And Joshua did to them as the Lord bade him. He hamstrung their horses and burned their chariots with fire. And Joshua turned back at that time and took Hazor and smote its king with the sword. For Hazor formerly was the head of all those kingdoms. And they put to the sword all who were in it, utterly destroying them. And there was none left that breathed. And he burned Hazor with fire. And all the cities of those kings and all their kings Joshua took and smote them with the edge of the sword. Why with the edge of the sword? I know you're using the edge of the sword. Like, you're being, not the point, just the edge. You probably should use the point and the edge, you know, and maybe even the butt too. Fucking stupid. I hate the way Joshua is written. Who the fuck wrote Joshua? This is devil shit. This is all devil shit. And all the cities of those kings and all their kings Joshua took and smote them with the edge of the sword, utterly destroying them, as Moses, the servant of the Lord, had commanded. There's Moses again. Moses just telling people to fucking do genocide. The shit's evil. But none of the cities that stood on mounds did Israel burn, except Hazor only, that Joshua burned, and all the spoil of these cities and the cattle the people of Israel took for their booty. But every man they smote with the edge of the sword until they had destroyed them, and they did not leave any that breathed, as the Lord had commanded Moses his servant. So Moses commanded Joshua, and so Joshua did. He left nothing undone of all that the Lord had commanded Moses. So Joshua took all that land, the hill country, and all the Negeb, and all the land of Goshen, and the lowland, and the Arabah, and the hill country of Israel, and its lowland from Mount Halak, that rises towards Seir, as far as Baal-Gad, Baal-Al-Gad, in the valley of Lebanon, below Mount Hermon. And he took all their kings and smote them, and he put them to death. Joshua made war a long time with all those kings. There was not a city that made peace with the people of Israel except the Hivites. Only the Hivites made peace with the people of Israel, the inhabitants of Gibeon. They took all in battle, for it was the Lord's doing, harden their hearts, that they should come against Israel in battle, in order that they should be utterly destroyed, and should receive no mercy, but be exterminated, as the Lord had commanded Moses. Hey, Moses, can you just go kill all those innocent people over there? And kill all those innocent people there? And then the Midianites, oh, you married Zipporah? Yeah, make sure you kill all of her people. Kill her friends, family, her neighbors. Kill everybody. Yeah, I know they married you. I know that's... And Joshua came at that time and wiped out the Anakim from the hill country, from Hebron, from Debir, from Anab, and from all the hill country of Judah, and from all the hill country of Israel. Joshua utterly destroyed them with their cities. There was none of the Anakim left in the land of the people of Israel. Only in Gaza, in Gath, and in Ashdod did some remain. Only in Gaza. This is twice they've mentioned Gaza. Joshua 10 mentions Gaza. Joshua 11 mentions Gaza. My God, how long has the Palestinians been around? Has the Palestinians been around the whole time? So Joshua took the whole land. Of course he did. Fucking prick. Land thieving ass, colonizing oppressor, fucking imperialist, goddamn Darth Vader, fucking... Joshua took the whole land according to all that the Lord had spoken to Moses. You know what? Moses is not talking to the Lord. Why do we keep on repeating this lie? Isn't that what Hitler said? You just keep repeating the big lie? Who told you to kill all those people, Moses? God. The big guy upstairs. He's the one that told me that. Oh, yeah. The one that told what's her name? Zipporah. He says, Zipporah, you need to take off your clothes. God's telling, yep, Yeah, Zipporah, you need to take off your clothes because I'm going to have sex with you. God's telling, that's what God's telling me right now. Oh, God's telling you to do that, huh? Hold on, wait. God's got me another message here. Genocide. But wait, what about the children? Oh, to hell with the children? All right, God said it. The order came from Mount Sinai. It came from on high, from the highest authority. So Josh took the whole land. He gave it for an inheritance to Israel according to their tribal allotments, and the land had rest from war. Thank goodness. Fucking shit. I don't know if I can who could read this shit? Anybody want to read chapter 12 with me? Let's see here. Chapter 12. Are you all ready? Let's end it off on a strong note here. And I'll just stick to the text. Oh, Gaza, chapter 13. Okay, the Palestinians are still surviving. You know what? It might just be worthy just to read it, just to see if the Palestinians keep on surviving. Now these are the kings of the land whom the people of Israel defeated and took possession of their land beyond the Jordan towards the sun rising from the valley of the Arnon to Mount Hermon, with all the Arabah eastward, Sihon, king of the Amorites, who dwelt at Heshbon. From Aroer, which is on the edge of the valley of Arnon, and from the middle of the valley as far as the river Jabbok, the boundary of the Ammonites, that is half of Gilead, and the Arabah to the sea of Chinneroth eastward, and in the direction of Beth Jesimoth, to the sea of the Arabah, the salt sea southward to the foot of the slopes of Pisgah, and Og, king of Bashan, one of the remnants of the Rephaim, who dwelt at Ashtaroth and at, oh, fuck you. Moses, the servant of the Lord, the people of Israel defeated all of them. Moses, the servant of the Lord, gave their land for a possession to the Reubenites and the Gadites and the half-tribe of Manasseh. Manasseh? There's a Manasseh, Colorado. Manasseh, Mac, Atheists, Gesh, you could find out and these are the kings of the land whom Joshua and the people of Israel defeated on the west side of the Jordan, from Baal-Gad in the valley of Lebanon to Mount Halak that rises towards Seir. And Joshua gave their land to the tribes of Israel as a possession according to their allotments in the hill country, in the lowland, in Arabah, in the slopes, in the wilderness, and in the Negeb, the land of the Hittites, the Amorites, the Canaanites, the Perizzites, the Hivites, and the Jebusites. The king of Jericho, 1. The king of Ai, which is beside Bethel, 1. The king of Jerusalem, 1. The king of Hebron, 1. The king of Jarmuth, 1. The king of Lachish, 1. The king of Eglon, 1. The king of Gezer, 1. The king of Deber, 1. The king of Geder, 1. Shit. King of Hormah, 1. The king of Arad, 1. The king of Libnah, 1. The king of Abdullam, 1. The king of Makkedah, 1. The king of Bethel, 1. Who the hell's still listening to? The king of Tapua, 1. The king of Hefer, 1. The king of Aphek, 1. The king of Lasharon, 1. The king of Madan, 1. The king of Hazar, 1. The king of Shimron, Meron, 1. The king of Shaph, 1. The king of Ta'anach, 1. The king of Megiddo, the king of Kedash, 1. The king of Jokneam and Carmel, the king of Dor. All right. Gaza. Y'all ready to hear the word Gaza? Philistines. We got Canaanites, Philistine, and Gaza coming up. Y'all ready? And it's just in the fucking third goddamn verse. So we're going to hear goddamn motherfucking Gaza. Jesus fucking Christ. So what's up with the cussing? On the verse number 3. And I'm trying to see if I see any more Gaza. Does Gaza survive? Can Gaza survive the ancient Israelites? Gaza, here's another one. Ashdod, its town and its villages. Gaza, its town and its villages, to the brook of Egypt. The great sea with its coastline. From the brook to the sea. From the river to the sea. From the river to the sea. Caleb drove out from there the 3 sons of Anak, and this is just warfare. The cities belonging to the tribe of the people. Okay, I said we're going to talk about Gaza. Oh, I lost one of you. Oh, man, I had 7 people at one time. Man, I was cooking there for a minute. Then I had 2 people hanging on at the end there. I'm going to cut this off in an hour. This has gone on for way too long. Probably could do this for goddamn hours. They sit there and listen to the Karen Reed fucking trial for hours. So where are we at now? 13. Now Joshua was old and advanced in years, and the Lord said to him, Joshua, you're one old, disgusting bastard, and advanced in years, and there remains very much land to be possessed. You're too fucking old and disgusting. This is the land that yet remains. All the regions of the Philistines, and all those of the Geshurites, from the Shihor, which is east of Egypt, northward to the boundary of Ekron, it is reckoned as Canaanite. There are 5 rulers of the Philistines, those of Gaza, Ashdod, Ashkelon, Gath, and Ekron. So the Philistines are the people of Gaza. So the Canaanites, the Philistines, the people of Gaza, these are all the same. And then who are the people of Ashdod and Ashkelon and Gath and Ekron? Have they just been doing genocides against fucking Palestine from the very beginning? Why can't Israel just take no for an answer? No, Israel, you can't take our land. No, Israel, you cannot have our land. Israel, how many fucking times I gotta tell you, we're not going to give our land to you, you son of a... Get the hell out of here, Israel. And here's a whole list of things in chapter 15. Ashdod, its towns and its villages. Gaza, its towns and its villages. And what are we going to say? That they fuck... This is the inheritance. The inheritance of the tribe of the people of Judah according to their families. Oh, okay, that's interesting. My family said that we own Gaza. That's what my granddaddy said. My granddaddy said he killed all those kids, and now we get to stay in Gaza. Oh, well, your granddaddy said he killed all those kids, huh? He said he did it for us. Yeah, what a good fucking guy. Why didn't he just go live in that area that's unoccupied over there? He didn't want to start something brand new. He just wanted to, he really had a bloodlust. He really wanted to kill a bunch of kids, and he wanted to carry that. That's the inheritance that he passed down to Israel. The ancient Israelites said, always kill the people of Canaan and the Philistines and the people of Gaza. And they're still fucking killing the people of, and my God, are the people of Gaza not a people of resilience and resistance? How have they hung on for such a long time? Fucking incredible. Incredible. I'm going to just kind of scan here for the next minute, see if I see any more things about Gaza. Can't believe Gaza is in the Bible. I remember looking for Palestine. I didn't see Palestine directly, but I see Gaza. I see trees of green and clouds of white. Bethlehem. And I think to myself, oh, what a wonderful world. Let's see. Gaza. Jericho. Golan. Canaan. I'm not seeing any more Gaza. But the death of Joshua, maybe this will be, let's end this on a high note. Moses and Joshua, they died. All the days, the elders who outlived Joshua, The bones of Joseph, which the people of Israel brought up. I don't have enough time to get to. Just know that Joshua dies. And I'll read it to myself later on. And I'll chuckle a little bit. You know? Because fuck Joshua. Fuck Joshua.